Hello, hello. I'm Mr. Monty, geometry teacher, Lewis and Clark High School here in Spokane. We're getting ready for lesson, which one was it? Do we remember? We're talking about shapes, right? Well, we had to take a step back here before we go any further on those shapes. We're on lesson 15 of shapes. And we're talking about quadrilaterals, talking about four-sided objects. But before we can start using that, I wanted to make sure that we remembered line, slope, and perpendicular. Because a lot of those shapes, in order to prove that they are indeed a rectangle, or a kite, or a square, or a parallelogram, we have to show that the lines are indeed parallel or perpendicular, form a 90 degree. So let's do a little refresher. A line a lot of times comes in the slope-intercept form, where we have to find the slope, we have to find the y-intercept. Once we have those, like in this example, and we can show that the slopes are indeed the opposite reciprocal, we can show that the lines are indeed perpendicular or form that 90-degree angle. Let's take a look at these two lines here. We'll have line A and line B. We've got to find the slope. Well, slope of any given line is indeed the change in the y's over the changes in the x's. Subtract the two y values, subtract the two x values. Make sure you always go in the same direction. A lot of you might have been told rise over run. The rise over the run to get the slope. If you do that, you got to remember a line in this direction is a negative slope, a line in this direction is a positive slope. If you always use the actual coordinate points, you won't have to remember that because it comes out itself. Let's do this green line A. The y's, 3 minus 1, over the x's, the change in x. 3 minus 1 is 2. 1 minus 5 is indeed negative 4. So we have negative 1/2. Good job. It is a negative slope, and for every 1 unit it goes up, it does go off 2 units. Good. Now, let's try the B line. The changes in the y's, and always go the same direction. Always go the same direction. 0 minus the 4. The x's, 2 minus the 4. We have a negative 4 over a negative 2. Negative over a negative is a positive. So our final answer is indeed 2 over 1, or 2. Anytime you just have a number 2, it's just like 2 over 1. The reason I wrote it like this is because I think it helps show opposite reciprocal. So, negative 1/2. If we take the opposite, it does become a positive. And then, reciprocal. Flip it. Flip it. The 2 goes on top, the 1 goes on the bottom. See how negative 1/2 is the opposite reciprocal of 2 over 1? Indeed, these two lines do meet at a 90-degree angle. They are indeed perpendicular. So this could be the first step of showing whether it was a kite, or a square, or a rhombus, or to say it's not a certain shape because of the 90 degrees. So make sure you remember some of these symbols and how to find the slope of the lines, because we're going to be doing a lot of that when we're studying our shapes. We'll see you next time for lesson 16.